All right, so lately at the shop, we've been selling more and more 80-pound bows, and it seems like the market's kind of headed that way. Like a lot of guys are producing an 80-pound bow, even some 90s. So we happen to have 3 80-pound bows in the shop, so we're going to do a little head-to-head with them, run some chrono numbers and everything like that for you. We got the PSE EVL 34 and 80, an Athens Vista 33 and 80, and the brand new Bowtech Revolt X80. So stay tuned and we'll see what we get. All right, so we're gonna start with the new Bowtech since it's new, and see how many shots we can get through before complete shoulder detonation. So we have a Easton Axis long range that's exactly 400 grains. It's what I shoot out of my PSE EVL. So we will see. Oh yeah, that's actually not bad. Feels pretty good. So it's a little heavy right up front, but comparing it to the one that I shoot the most is the EVL. It's not bad.
Yeah, so this is, from my memory when I was shooting these ones, the front load on this one is pretty unreal. Like it's one of those ones where if you've never shot an 80, you're probably gonna start to pull this thing back and think something's wrong. Like you're just gonna go like, eh. Immediately after that, it is very easy. So once you get past this initial hump on this one, like, don't just try to pull it back, you know, just to show off how strong you are or whatever, because this where it's loaded right now, you are very likely to tweak something in your front shoulder. So just make sure that your shoulder's in the right position, your brace and everything, and this is actually a pretty enjoyable draw cycle. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean,
It's not bad.
Yeah, and guess what? It feels just like a Revolt X. So, yeah, just a little bit heavier. Go figure. Not bad. Let's check out the Athens Vista 33.
Okay, so next up we have the Athens Vista 33 and 80 pounds. This is actually Evan's bow that he took to Africa this year. So I've shot this bow quite a few times. See how she feels. Oh, so much better. So, like all Athens draws at any weight, it is a lot more of a steady progression in the draw versus the front-loaded hump on the Revolt. Yeah, I like this one a little better so far. Yeah.
It just looks.
So it's an Athens. It's super smooth. He's got it set up for, I don't know what now. He's got a whisker biscuit on it and a tiny little weird sidebar. Just random Evan things.
Really?
That's why I wanted to put it in the middle. Because it's kind of like a palate cleanser.
I see. Oh my goodness, yeah. Wow, he's got a weird pea pipe. Yeah, like that just feels like incredibly nicer.
Yeah.
And they actually made this bow for Evan before they were even doing 80 pounds. I'm pretty sure this was actually the test riser because Evan had kept requesting 80-pound bows or just like 70 heavies. And I'm pretty sure this was the test riser that they put out. Don't correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, this feels like tremendously better.
I want to say it's actually 78 pounds because that was the heaviest limbs they had at the time.
I see. Yeah, so before we throw these through the chronograph, we'll scale them out. But this, now where I say there is one point in this draw cycle where the Revolt X80 feels a little bit better, and it is right at that cam over. So I would say that one cams over a little bit easier, but just considering the draw cycles as a whole, it's got to cam over, or there's got to be a brunt of it somewhere. So this one is just a little bit later in the draw cycle, but
you got to get to 80 at some point to have an 80-pound bow.
Exactly. Yeah, that's an incredibly enjoyable 80, as far as 80 goes.
That's the bow that made me build an 80, because I was like, oh, I like 80s.
I see, yeah. I mean, it really does not feel like an 80. Like, it will surprise you. Like this, you put this up against like a
60-pound SR6.
60-pound, or the Solution SD.
Yeah.
Just, if you're looking at the weight of it, I don't know why you'd want to shoot 80 pounds. There's a lot of reasons, I guess. I mean, I'm not saying I'm excluded from that, but this actually feels a lot better than a lot of 70-pound bows.
And here's the thing, if you want an 80, you know why you want an 80, you just want one.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like fast cars and motorcycles, you just want one.
Yeah.
This is America, we do what we want.
Good enough.
I'll get there. Okay, so next up we have the PSE EVL 34. This is actually my personal bow. It was a 70 and I ordered 80-pound limbs and tuned her up. So I know what this feels like. It feels like a PSE at 80. It's the cam over is closer to the middle, where I feel like the Revolt is a lot sooner and then the PSE is later. So it's just, you know, cam shape and just the way they engineered the draw. I shoot this bow quite a bit and have always been happy with it. It's what I built, honestly, for the total archery challenge this year. Just wanted to get that 150-yard sight tape, so we'll let Luke shoot it some.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's better than I remember it. You guys in your normal size of noses.
Sorry.
I hate to say it. I mean, this feels really good too. Athens to me feels like the absolute best. I mean, maybe not by like a crazy wide margin. This one also does feel really good. That Bowtech just feels weird for an 80-pounder.
I don't like a front weighted draw cycle.
Yeah, that could be it. Which is funny because I never noticed the front weighted draw cycle that much on the Revolt X. Put it into 80 pounds. I don't know. I believe it's the same cam. Aluminum limb pockets or like metal limb pockets on them. So I don't know what the difference is, but these other two just feel better. Yeah. Feels good. Feels like a PSE. Squeaks like a PSE.
Yeah, I've tried everything to get rid of that. It's kind of funny because it's 80 pounds, right? And if you get it back, it squeaks for your shoulder. It's like, oh no!
Yeah, it defers the squeak.
Yeah.
No, I mean, both. I mean, this. If you're a front-loaded draw cycle guy, see, typically what I see is front-loaded draw cycle people are people with shoulder issues, just because it's easier on the rotator cuff when you go to that cam over. That doesn't really apply here because these are 80-pound bows. If you have shoulder issues, do not shoot an 80-pound bow. I would even say don't shoot a 70-pound bow. You can get away with it. We've seen customers kill huge deer with 40-pound bows. So don't choose an 80-pound bow because you think it's going to help you kill things. That is not the reason.
All right, so we got the bows over here on the tech side of the shop. We're gonna run them through the chrono, get you guys the numbers. We're not worried about like IBO with these, obviously, because they're 80-pound bows, and we're not gonna draw an 80-pound bow to 30 inches because we like our shoulders. So all at 28, we'll give you the exact weights when we do them, and we will go from there as soon as... Look, what are you doing over there, man?
I just watched some cam hit. Never mind, I'll be ready in a minute.
Okay, we'll be ready in a minute. We'll be right back.
Okay, so we got all the bows set up over here. We got our chronograph set up ready. We are going to start with the EVO EVL 34. We are going to be testing 400 grain arrows. We're going to be testing 528, and then we're going to be testing 597. So that'll give you a good range of...
What?
Thanks, Joe.
What What would you say happened here?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You had sleeves, and now we don't.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So shooting 80
Let's get
has
to testing.
different effects on different people, so just be cautious.
This is what I was wearing when I walked in.
Okay.
Okay, EVO EVL 397 grain arrow, minimum weight arrow.
Depends on the glue.
310,
Diesel kit.
310,
528.
528,
264.
264. Okay, so I mean this is like a decently heavier arrow.
That's 130 grains heavier.
Yeah, I mean as far as just like proportionate to.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. 269.
597 grain arrow.
Yep, the big boys. So this is just under a 600 grain arrow. The reason you pull 80.
Didn't lose much.
Wow. 258. I'm wondering if that's going to stay the same. If so, this bow is crazy efficient at the heavier weights.
56.
We lost 10 foot a second on 70 grains. Oh my gosh. Okay, Athens Vista 33, 80 pounder. We're getting really consistent readings out of this chronograph. So I'm just gonna shoot one arrow. That's the reason. Not because I'm getting tired. I've watched way too many Cam Hanes videos to be getting tired. 301. So 528 grain arrow. 264. So that was actually about the same.
Yeah.
This is going to be the 597, so this is going to be almost 600 grains here. Okay. So Athens definitely likes heavier arrows, but both of them did exceptionally well. The more weight that you put behind the arrow. Okay, that's pretty cool. We're trying to figure out like where these bows are as far as efficiency goes. Don't expect it this video because it's going to be a lot of testing, but I'm not looking forward to this one.
Do you need to tag me in on this one?
80 with every other bow felt fine. This one is just like a 305, 400 grain arrow. So that's minimum weight arrow. 305, about the same. Split the middle.
5 slower, yeah.
Yeah, split the middle of the PSE and the Athens. 528 grain arrow. 273.
Didn't drop off as far.
That's the fastest we've seen on that arrow. So 600 grain. Very curious now.
And that's the slowest number we've seen on that.
Well, yeah, not by much.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one definitely had a peak around the 530 mark.
Yeah.
So those are the speeds.
So, like usual, we forgot something. We forgot to put the hand scale numbers in as he was shooting them. I hand scaled them earlier. The Revolt is drawing 79 exactly. The PSE is drawing 79 exactly. And the Athens here has been shot a lot, and it's drawing 76. So keep that in mind when you're looking at the numbers. If these weren't already tuned up and our bows that we didn't mind fiddling with, we could have twisted these cables and got them all to exactly 80. But that's kind of not the point of the video. The point of the video is just to kind of go over more of the draw cycle, and
It'll give you a pretty accurate thing, and it just if you care about the foot per second, add 2 to 3 foot per second per pound, roughly speaking. So just add 6 to 8 foot a second to that thing, and then it'll apples to apples.
yeah, I didn't want to short Athens there, coming in a little slow, but now that we know that, it's right in there with the PSE and the Revolt. So the more you know.
We just shot a whole bunch of 80-pound bows, and we were thinking, why?
That's the question we get the most, is why? Like, for people that don't shoot 80-pound bows, they're like, why do you have an 80-pound bow? For me, the answer is because I can. I started with a 70-pound EVL 34 here It's my 3D bow, and it was either sell it when I had moved to the Athens Vista 33 or do something else with it. So for me, I put a longer bar on it, threw a little bit more weight on it, 80-pound limbs, and I think this is what I'll take to TAC this year, just to have a little bit more speed, have a little bit more power to carry out for those longer targets, and have that 150-yard sight tape. So that's my why. I want one. Why not?
Yeah. So of course you're going to get more kinetic energy. You're going to get more output just because you're drawing back more weight. As far as necessity goes, there isn't an animal in the world that you need to shoot 80 pounds for. So you can get that out of your head, right away. As far as shooting an 80-pound bow goes, a 90-pound bow. What did
Cam just built 100?
Was it a 100-pound bow?
Yeah.
There is no reason. There is no real reason to need to hunt with that. You're going to be able to carry just plenty of energy with whatever poundage bow you got. I mean, over 40 pounds, you're going to be able to kill 60% of animals. 50, 60, 70, oh my gosh, 70 is overkill for everything. So you don't really need it. It is a because you want to kind of thing.
Yeah, you don't need to have a Corvette. You don't need a super fast crotch rocket. You don't need a big giant diesel truck unless you're pulling horse trailers or something like that. But you want it, right? There's no other reason to do it besides you can and you want to, in my opinion, that's why I did it. I can and I wanted to. You don't need a reason if that's what you want to do. You're gonna get, some crap from your buddies. They're all gonna be like, oh yeah, I want to be campaign, duh, duh, duh. But so what? I can pull it. It's fun. It's not something I would want to shoot indoor spots with, obviously, but it's just kind of a toy.
I actually don't shoot 80-pound bows. I've had shoulder surgeries before. I don't shoot that often, so when I do get to shoot, I'd rather not have it lead to a trip to, the surgical ward or whatever. So personally, I'm a 60-pound bow guy all day long. It just depends on what you want to shoot. But there are those guys out there, and the truth is, like when you shoot an 80, it doesn't feel much heavier than 70. Like it really doesn't if you're used to it and you got good strength built up. That's up to you.
Alright, so guys, this is why you don't shoot 80 sometimes. You get a little bit of that invisible lat syndrome. He's been hammering all week, so. You gonna superset those?
I can't believe these bows weigh 80 pounds.